Hey Battlefield YouTube community, I'm back with another review. This time it's going to be the MPX, New Dragon's Teeth PDW. And I know a lot of people don't use PDWs, and I've covered quite a few now. But I have to cover this one because, hey, it's another new weapon. And I don't think PDWs get the love they deserve. First up, what makes this weapon different than all the other PDWs you could use, or why not use a carbine? Well, first of all, this one does something a little bit different. It's its damage. It's 27 maximum and 13 minimum. That's a little bit higher at maximum than your normal weapon, because most of them do 25. There are some that do 26 and there's 20s, but 25 is a bit high. And also something is a little bit different with this weapon. Your magazine size is sitting at 25 plus 1 in the chamber, which again, most of them have a little bit more, a little bit less than that. And it kind of reminds me of the FAMAS in that way. It has that kind of an odd magazine size. And you're going to be reloading those at 2.1 seconds for that short partial reload and 2.7 seconds for that long reload. And at least at first, you're going to be seeing that long reload quite a bit till you get used to having that shorter capacity. I know at first I would typically dump too many rounds into it. I was used to a 30-round magazine until I started using it. The reload's a little bit more like the FAMAS. It doesn't have the same kind of fire rate because this thing does shoot at 850 rounds per minute. And that's actually pretty damn decent. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, but it's just quick enough you can really erase somebody at close up, and at distance it doesn't do too bad. Of course, your damage isn't that great, but you can pop them at distance, and we're talking like a medium distance here. I wouldn't try to take out sniper or anything, but at medium ranges you can do some work with this thing. Although you plan to spend quite a few rounds on somebody, you're much better off trying to be sneaky and get among them. And one of those reasons you want to get among them, because, like most of the other PDWs, it has excellent hip fire. I love hip firing people. It's definitely my favorite way to dispatch somebody, and this gun is great at it. And really fits the engineer play style, where typically you're going to use this gun, or the engineer class in general, using a lot of vehicles or a tank to jump out, repair, and dispatch anybody that's really close to you, trying to either C4 you or throw mines underneath you or whatever. The typical engineer role. But unlike Pearl Market here, it's actually very good, just because of a lot of close quarter situations, and this gun can erase people fast. Although it can take people off the top of the buildings pretty easily, albeit with a couple extra rounds. Now, if you're wondering how you get the achievement to get this thing, it's not too hard. You need 2 PDW ribbons, you need a link 10 points in chain link, and you need a squad order followed 10 times. And of course, you need to be at least rank 10. You also need to play at least one Dragon's Teeth map, and you have to have the DLC, of course. Honestly, I found the hardest part of doing this assignment was just to get the darn squad order thing. Nobody tends to actually use this as squad leaders. I don't know why. It's free points, but I don't know how often you have to sit there and almost beg somebody to mark something to go attack. It's awful sometimes. And I kind of wish it would reorganize squads in this game where the most skilled, or say the highest ranked person, would be the squad leader after, say, the new map starts. But I can see why they want to give people other turns at it, even though it kind of does hurt you a little bit. And while reviewing it, the iron sights in this gun are excellent. I really did like the iron sights. Obviously, I did switch to a red dot just because you get a little bit more screen with it, but I had no trouble at all using these iron sights. And the recoil is very, very minimal in this gun, so it's pretty easy to stay on target. You're looking at 0.36 vertical and horizontal, you're 0.3 both directions, and 2.1 first shot multiplier, which is a slight kick, but it's not so bad. And I found that the recoil, just because of the way it is, you're going to pull straight up, obviously, because it's a little bit stronger that direction. And you know what? I've used quite a few of the barrel attachments, and the muzzle brake does make the biggest difference, or it doesn't pull up quite as hard, even though vertical recoil is very easy to compensate for. You could use a suppressor and actually do quite well with it. And the muzzle brake really didn't change anything over suppressor. I tested it out extensively. The recoil pattern is almost identical with both, and the muzzle brake is only a slight advantage. So if you're good enough to pull down slightly on your mouse or your joystick, it's quite easy to run with a suppressor only on this thing. I didn't do it too much because I never realized how good it could be with this, but late last night after a lot of testing, I found out it is quite well. I mean, the muzzle brake, offers that such a tiny advantage. And you know what? I probably will run with this more so with suppressor than before. Now, outside the muzzle brake, I would use any sight you're most comfortable with. I know a lot of people that's going to be Coyote or Cobra. It doesn't really matter. And like I said, the iron sights are excellent. And as far as the grips go, the ergo grip all the way. It's great shooting on the move, and this gun is a very mobile gun. And obviously, vertical grip's the same damn thing. And those I found the best to use. And like I said, it has excellent hip fire, so you want to pair whatever laser you like the best. Now, the big question is, where does this fit with all the other PDWs? At first, I didn't know if I'd want to trade in some of my favorites in the class. I would consider the best PDWs to be the CZ3A1 because it is an absolute beast at close range with its fire rate and damage and magazine size. And also, you have the SR2 from the last DLC, an excellent weapon. It's very similar to this in several ways. The slight differences. And you know what, in most situations, I would probably use that, although this gun is excellent and these new maps. And I probably, in some of this stuff, after I get enough kills with this, I'll probably go back to my CZ3A1. That's probably my favorite PDW. And I know, like most people, they're going to skip these altogether because they're going to have their favorite carbine, which in most cases is definitely a better option, unless you want that great, excellent hip fire. If you enjoyed my video and found it informative, please hit that like button. And also, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And also, follow me on Twitter. It's the best way to find out if I recently uploaded something. YouTube's not the best at that sometimes. And also, I got Unica 6 review here and the Bulldog review if you haven't seen them already. Thanks, everybody, for all your support you've been giving me. It really does mean a lot.